Check it. Alright guys, we're back and I have a major update for you guys. Things are lining up way too nice. The stars are aligning. Things are going down. Get ready. I got to talk about ChatGPT. I got to talk about the news, the data, the technical analysis. We also have a lot of articles to cover and everything in between. This video is a little bit longer, but it contains a lot of data, technical analysis, and I do cover AMC Ape, AMC, and the SPY as well, because that tends to affect how we run. But there's interesting theory going on with ChatGPT, and there's also stuff going on with the news and their narratives. You also want to check out my Discord and my Twitter, because I drop stock picks there all the time, crypto updates and things of that nature. And I'm going to start doing live streams and live Q&As on there as well. So you definitely want to check that out, and I will be doing them on YouTube as well. But as always, let's go ahead and get in the charts, the facts, the data, and see what we have going on. All right, guys, we're back and we're looking at AMC and Ape, and I'm going to be covering a ton of stuff on this video. It's going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to be talking about the ChatGPT thing that I dropped. I'm also going to be talking about economic data. I'm going to be doing the TA and predictions for AMC, Ape, and then the overall stock market. And I'm going to be covering all the facts and data as normal. And I want to also say I do apologize if I get people hyped up. I truly just believe what I'm saying on here. The TA and the data is all telling me the same thing. I truly believe that this was the bottom, that this is going to be the run up known as the MOAS, this uptrend that we're starting. And I truly believe that we're going to start an uptrend and reach all-time highs. And me personally, I'm extremely excited for next week and the week after, but we will see what happens. Also, with these dates that come out and stuff like that, I do apologize if I promote any of that stuff, but these dates are just dates, so just take them with a grain of salt. It's always nice to speculate, and also take the data points and put them all together and critically think to paint a picture. So let's go ahead and jump in with the news, and then I'll do the TA. So first, we have the economic data that's affecting the U.S. stock market. We have year-over-year core inflation rate here on Tuesday, and we have the inflation rate here on Tuesday as well. That's February 14th, Valentine's Day. This could make the market go up or down, but I always say, show me the charts and I will show you the news, because we had bad data last week. And again, the SPY broke down, but the SPY also had a technical pattern called an ascending triangle, which always breaks to the downside, just like this one. And it's probably going to come down and retest this macro downtrend and then pop to the upside, or either break through and break down hard. We are going to see. But neither here or there. That's just showing you examples of show me the news, and or show me the charts and I could show you the news. We also have stuff coming up on Wednesday, retail sales, and this is all major impact stuff, 3-star stuff, which is the highest level. And then we have building permits, and then that is it for next week's schedule as far as things that could affect the overall movement of the stock market. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the AMC articles that are coming out about how it is going to squeeze. So we are looking at Bed Bath & Beyond as well. So there's all these articles about the meme stock basket coming out, about how these stocks are about to experience a major short squeeze. And again, the news narrative likes to be right. So when this thing runs up, again, show me the charts, I'll show you the news. So when this thing runs up, they'll be able to say, hey, we told you so. So I'm expecting a major short squeeze in BBBY. It's also highly shorted. It's also on the FTD failure to deliver list. And it also is good for AMC as well, because if you look at the charts, they all, GME, BBBY, and AMC in particular, all seem to run with very similar movements. So what is good for one is good for the other. We also have this coming out from the street, why AMC stock might be ready for another short squeeze. Okay, so we have all of these articles getting you ready, getting you all hyped up, and also telling all the normies, hey, it's about to squeeze, this thing's gonna run up. So when it does, they can say, hey, we already have the articles, and look, here's even one for GameStop right here, bullish. But we already had the articles ready and ready to rock. So if we go ahead and look at my Twitter, I tweeted about Dan ChatGPT. And so what this is let me explain briefly, is Dan is a workaround for ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, if you ask it certain questions off the bat, it cannot do that. And this might sound a little bit crazy, but I kind of have a background in cybersecurity. I used to make and run a channel about this stuff. So this is kind of right up my alley. But basically, hackers and programmers and crackers went and started creating other algorithms, other AIs to help work around this system. So they can give it a bypass, and they call that Dan. So it's basically like jailbreaking ChatGPT. And then once you do this, you are able to communicate and ask questions that it normally wouldn't be able to answer. You've seen early stages of this in the early days of when ChatGPT first came out, and it wouldn't allow you to do certain things, but people would ask certain different ways. That was just one way people started to crack and hack the system, and it's going to continue as these AIs advance. But it's saying that the price of next week will be $50. That is what Dan slash Chat GPT is saying. Also, it's saying that a market crash is coming February 15th. Again, guys, this is all just speculation. This is all just speculative data. Take it with a grain of salt. But guys, isn't it crazy that it could correlate with the market crash like we all thought if we see a big drop in the market, which could be possible. Um, and it actually causes squeeze, putting pressure on the shorts, causing margin calls, putting so much pressure on them. With all the pressure that's building up with the cost to borrow, the short interest, the failure to delivers, and this thing absolutely take off to the moon because of that final black swan capitulation moment. And we've always theorized that AMC could be correlated with a major market crash, and also could be a hedge against a market crash. So that would be really cool if that turned out to be true. Unfortunately, people would lose money, so I don't think that's cool, but I think it would be cool that the apes theory was right. So that is what I'm looking at with that and the whole chat GPT thing. I'll do a bigger video on that later. If you guys want, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. So on Yahoo's top shorted stocks, we have Ape. That's just one thing. And if you look at Ape short interest, it's actually only reporting about 6.77%, but on Yahoo's top, but it's on Yahoo's top shorted stock list, which means it's probably getting naked shorted, and there is a massive amount of short pressure against Ape. So things are looking good for the meme stocks. Also, BBBY is on the thresholds list as well. AMC was just on it last week. Things are absolutely heating up. Things are absolutely getting ready to pop. We have the cost of borrow rates steadily rising. AMC's cost of borrow rate suddenly dropped, but it's still above 150%, hovering well above 150%, about 175%. So we are looking good on that. That puts a lot of pressure on the shorts, especially being over 100%, and with our utilization being so high. AMC's short interest AMC short interest is still increasing to 2.96%. This thing is absolutely ready to pop. Enough short interest for the short squeeze. And again, anytime we've seen data like this with AMC, with the FTDs, all of this stuff lining up with the green weekly MACD that I keep repeating over and over, with the Bollinger Bands getting tight, all of these things that we have seen and the short interest and the threshold list have led to major run-ups like we had last time. And if you follow Ants Trade and other people's patterns about Wyckoffs and fractals, you guys can see that the similar patterns are playing out, and they are following it to the T. It might be a little bit lagged, but these patterns are very, very similar. And if you've been watching the stock as long as I have, you can see these patterns almost daily play out. So that is what I am looking at for everything with the news. We also have a massive amount of failure to delivers, 130, 1.3 million failure to delivers to be bought next week. Again, here is the closing date over here. So here's the start date, here's the amount, here is the closing date, and that's when they need to be purchased. This is going to put a massive amount of pressure, buying pressure on the stock. And as you guys can see, last time FTDs spiked, we had a big run up. Every time FTDs spike, we have a big run up. FTDs spike, run up. FTDs are spiking, and we have guaranteed buying pressure for the stock. This is guaranteed buying pressure, and it's all throughout next week, the 15th, the 14th, and the 13th, the 10th. So this is all buying pressure guaranteed from these FTDs. So we covered the cost of borrow rate. We covered AMC APE's cost of borrow rate. We covered AMC short interest. We covered all of the other meme stock, quote unquote, meme stock news and how everything is lining up. And we also covered the overall economic data. And once again, the option chain is loaded, ready for a gamma squeeze, ready to push us higher as soon as we get above certain price points of $5, $6, $7. And that is why they need to halt us down and stop momentum and make you guys feel like this play is over, like it will never end. And that's why they're doing these short attacks. That's why they are getting shares to borrow out of thin air. And that's why they are doing everything they can to keep us down, because this thing is about to pop and they need you to sell your shares. So let's go ahead and hop in with the TA, give some predictions for next week, and go from there. So what I am looking at here is basically I'm hoping that this trend line will hold as support. As you guys can see, this trend line is forming. We can get a bounce off of that and then come back down if necessary. But I'm really hoping that we get this bounce off of this overall macro falling wedge. And we did close above the wedge, just barely closed above the wedge. We went back inside it, popped back out, and then we managed to get back above it. So we should be getting a nice bounce next week. You want to look out for the price points of $8 to $10. I'm going to keep putting that in your guys' head. $8 to $10 is when this stock will actually take off and see very violent, volatile movement. Yes, it will be up and down, but it's going to start popping like $10, $20 at a time. So watch for those price points. And that's, again, why they have to halt us, keep us down, because right now, if we get even above $5, we start gaining an insane amount of momentum and start pushing to the upside. And that's, again, why they are halting us. But on the smaller time frames, we have the 4-hour, we have this falling wedge forming. This is a micro falling wedge. This is on the smaller time frame on the 4-hour. Also on the 4-hour, RSI is extremely oversold. As you guys can see down here, RSI is extremely oversold. That means it's ready for a bounce and buyers are ready to step in. So it is looking very, very good technical wise to get a bounce right here at this level, get the breakout of this micro falling wedge, and then start testing this upper resistance. I think if we possibly see a low, if we possibly see a low lower than this and do not get the bounce, it would be at about $4 even. I think that we would hold $4.50 support, but I'm looking more for upside towards $5 and $5.50 for next week, and then start ripping to the upside towards $8 to $10 if we do get the momentum that we need. And if all of this stuff turns out to be true and all of these things are lining up. We also have the technical indicators for AMC showing us that things are about to absolutely take off. We have the super trend showing that it is a buy. We have the Bollinger Bands the super trend showing that it's a buy on the daily time frame. So that is extremely good. As you guys can see, every time there's a buy, it's a run up, buy, there's a run up. So we have that looking good for us as well. It's still a buy. And we also have the Bollinger Bands getting extremely tight on the weekly time frame and on the daily time frame. Anytime the Bollinger Bands get tight, that means a big pop to the up or downside is coming. And you can also determine which way it's going to be which using this EMA line, and I'm predicting it's going to be to the upside. As you guys can see, the bands are getting extremely tight. When they get tight, there's big movement to the upside, and I can show you this on the weekly as well. If you look at the bands, they get tight, they start curling in on themselves, boom, they start curling in on themselves, boom. They're a little overextended here because of this move, but they start curling in on themselves, have a run up, and then again they are curling in on themselves. What do you guys think is happening? Green weekly MACD, everything is lining up. I don't know what else to tell you guys. It's all lining up. It's primed for a run up. If it doesn't happen next week, it's going to happen next week. This thing is going to run, okay? It's going to run. So I'm going to go ahead and do the DD on ape and then close out the video. Guys, hopefully you found it informative, and go ahead and drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. But this is the upsending support that we held before when we were running up the weeks prior to this massive run up here, when we were absolutely just gamma squeezing all the way up to $3.30. This EMA ribbon right here on the daily hit our head on it, boom, and that's why I brought the EMAs up, because that's where I'm looking at for support. We are below the EMA right now, but I think that we can get a push above it, especially if we get momentum to the upside. We have these gap fills up here and down here below us. That gaps can get filled after the squeeze, or after that, or after we run up. They can get filled anytime, but gaps most of the time get filled. So there is one above us and there is one below us. So guys, keep that in mind. Gaps get filled about 99.8% of the time, but sometimes they don't. So it's not something that you can guarantee on. If we do come down, I'm hoping to hold this trend line of support, come down, boom, and then bounce off of that, and then continue to the upside, maybe ride it to the upside like that. But again, if we start squeezing, start taking off, I'm looking at $8 to $10 for ape, and then who knows from there. It's going to absolutely rip. I believe that ape could actually have a better chance of doing more gains percentage wise than AMC. That is just my personal opinion. I hold AMC, ape, GameStop, BBBY, and a few other stocks. That is just my personal opinion, and I like to be diversified in the quote unquote meme stocks. So where am I looking at for support on ape? If we hit any lows, I am looking at these levels down here. If we go ahead and scroll over, you can see it's $2 and $2.35 is levels that I'm looking at for support if we do come to the downside. Again, we had a massive movement to the upside on ape, so a little bit more downside wouldn't be the end of the world, but RSI is extremely oversold, so I am expecting a nice bounce for AMC ape. That is on the 4-hour that RSI is oversold, and it's getting cooled down on the daily, giving us more time to room to the or more space to run to the upside when we get that momentum and start running. You don't want to take off way up here with the RSI already blown out. You want to give your stock some room to breathe. So guys, that is basically it. Highs and lows for ape, again, $2.30, $2 even. Highs and lows for AMC, we have $4, $4.50 even, but I'm more looking for upside on both of the stocks. Ape, I'm looking for more of a $2.50 or $3.50 level, and the $3 level going to it next week if we don't take off. And for AMC, I'm looking at $5 and $6 level if we don't take off. But if you heard everything that I just dropped, it's very evident that something is definitely about to happen. So hopefully you found the video informative. Sorry it was a little bit longer. I had a ton of stuff to cover, a ton of stuff that I wanted to get into with the FTDs, with the whole ChatGPT thing, showing all of the data lined up and how this thing is absolutely primed. All of these stocks are primed to go, how the narrative is changing, how the news is saying, hey, this thing is about to pop, because they always like to be right. And again, I always say, show me the charts, show me the news, or show me the charts and I'll show you the news. But it is what it is. They like to have their cake and eat it too. So it is what it is, guys. You can believe what you want. this is just what I see. I think we are primed for launch. I'm thinking that this thing could happen next week or the week after. That is just my personal opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. This is not financial advice. The ChatGPT stuff I covered is just speculation. And then the other stuff, the data is hardcore facts. This is stuff that you guys see lining up in front of you. So hopefully you found the video informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. You can check out my Discord. I'm going to start doing lives there, and I do stock picks and crypto picks, updates, and stuff like that. And check me out on Twitter as well. I'm going to leave links down in the description. So hopefully you had a good time, and as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out. All right, guys, that was the video. Hopefully you found it informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like. Subscribe for more content like this. It really helps me out, helps the channel grow. Also, comments and likes help as well, and I really appreciate it, and I will respond. But guys, make sure you check out my Discord and my Twitter, because I'm going to start going live there, doing live updates and Q&As there as well. And I always drop crypto stock picks and tips and stock tips and picks. So as always, subscribe, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.